Jehovah's Witnesses are known for their door-to-door preaching, strict moral code, and organizational unity. But despite their global reach, something is absent from their public image: charity. They don't run homeless shelters, they don't support food banks, and they don't engage in community outreach, unless it's to hand out a Watchtower literature. Let's talk about it. You ever wonder why Jehovah's Witnesses don't give to the poor? And where is all the money going instead? I mean, Jesus cared for the poor, so why don't they? Jesus wasn't just a preacher, he was a healer, a provider, and a friend to the broken. Just look at his language in Matthew 25:35. I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. This powerful parable makes it clear. Helping the poor is helping Christ himself. It's not optional. It's a core part of Christian life. And yet, Jehovah's Witnesses don't operate hospitals, orphanages, or relief programs for non-members. Their disaster relief is mostly internal and often comes with strings attached. You must be in good standing to even receive anything, which pretty much means following every rule and not questioning a governing body. It's completely opposite of Jesus. Jesus healed Roman soldiers, worldly men, servants. He touched lepers. He fed crowds regardless of whether they believed him or not. Did you catch that? He fed crowds regardless of whether they believe him or not. How many stories have you heard of a witness getting disfellowshipped? They're fired from their job that probably was owned by a witness. They're kicked out of their home, their apartment. Witnesses are told to have nothing to do with them. Of course, things are changing now because they realize the backlash of their doctrine being extreme. Now, what's crazy is Jehovah's Witnesses are not broke. In fact, they are one of the wealthiest religious organizations in the world. A lot of their members are lower class because they don't teach them to pursue anything. Live a simple life, don't go to school. Well, now I guess it's okay. But what about the person who had a full scholarship now is 60 years old? I guess they should have just went to school. It's a bunch of BS. But seriously, they own billions of dollars in real estate worldwide. They receive hundreds of millions in donations annually, much of it through constant appeals and meetings and conventions. Members of the congregation have no say-so in where they send the money. They just send it upward to the governing body. And if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, have you ever asked the question, well, where's the money going? Have they ever helped you? Have you ever seen them feed a hungry man? As far as I can tell, you got free magazines, building projects, legal defenses, an internal broadcasting studio, travel and living expenses for most of their big members like the COs and the governing body members, but that's it. Not the poor, not the hungry, not the widow or the orphan. Now, I know where the money is going. A lot of people know where the money is going. It's going out of lawsuits. They're just piling up everywhere. Jehovah's Witnesses have been sued hundreds of times across the globe for failing to report CSA, you know what it is, and protecting predators within the congregation. And they keep losing. In Montana, they was ordered to pay like $35 million. In Australia, the Royal Commission found a bunch of alleged abusers in the JW congregations. In 2023, they lost another major lawsuit, and it just keeps going. And for the JWs that don't want to look into it, I guess ignorance is bliss. I don't know. The information is out here. The joke is over. It's on the internet. It's everywhere. But at least ask yourself, where does this donation money go? To cover up crimes? Legal teams? Settlements? PR damage control? Matthew 23:14. Woe to you, for you devour widows, houses, and for a pretense making long prayers. See, I could grab a scripture or something Jesus said and apply it to anything too. It's clear. The organization does not give to the broken. Most broken are these worldly people y'all claim y'all do not socialize with. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, have you ever helped somebody that was worldly? Not in the shadows, but in front of those elders who tell you to leave those worldly people alone, worldly family members. Would you let a worldly family member move in with you that was homeless? Let's say you slip up. Let's say you get this fellowship and you done treated all your worldly family like this. You think they're gonna take you in? What seeds are you sowing? You reap what you sow. And to rebuke the witnesses scripturally, look at Acts 2:44. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Anyone, not just Jehovah's Witnesses, anybody. Who did Jesus give all that fish to? They wasn't on the pioneer list. They wasn't out on field service. He fed everybody. You guys will go and knock on somebody's door and come in and eat their food and let them give you hospitality. Would you do the same for a man knocking on your door that wasn't a witness? I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses completely deny everything the early church did. It was simple. Given to those who didn't have nothing was just simply Christ-like. That's it. That's all. Radical generosity. No publishing corporations. No billion-dollar real estate flipping. If you're a Jehovah's Witness, how many food banks have you served at? Or have you ever served for your Christian supposedly organization and gave to anybody? If you are not a witness, if you're somebody who struggled, let's say you're somebody who would have been to food banks and everybody then kind of needed help at one point, ask yourself this. Have you ever got help from a Jehovah's Witness? You could probably name that Baptist church. You could probably name the church on the corner, the Catholic church. It don't matter. You know what I'm talking about. If you were there and that was your position and you needed help, you know what I'm talking about. I've had to use Catholic charities to get help on a light bill before when I was struggling. Couldn't go to a Jehovah's Witness, and I was still a Jehovah's Witness. I couldn't go to the brothers and say, hey, I need help on my light bill. When you go to a hospital, it's either Christ something, Saint Mary or something. And even though we know, like, I don't agree with some of the things the Catholics do, whatever, but I know I've received help. Nothing to do with Jehovah's Witnesses, though. Not nowhere. You don't have a circuit overseer hospital or nothing you can go to get help. When it's all over, said and done, Jesus is going to go and he's going to separate the sheep to the goats and he's going to do all this. What's important is Romans 10:9. You believe Jesus is Lord and believe and confess Jesus is Lord within your heart, you will be saved. That's the main part. This is why I don't debate with nobody, because that's what's important. Being born again, that's what's important. Now, whatever you do at your church and whatever you do is up to you and the Lord, and you're going to be dealt with. Bible talks about the judgment seat of Christ. Most of you Jehovah's Witnesses don't even know what that is. So you're trying to act off righteousness. You're full of yourself. But at the end of the day, you're not following the basic principles. Some of the worst churches, I like to look at finding a good church like finding a good neighborhood. You got some good churches. You got some bad churches too. But I'll tell you this, and the pastor may be taking all the money. He may be making them tithe and taking all their money and taking all the donations. But I would bet money that they have some type of giving back program. It's embedded and it's Christ-like. If you're his, you would do something like this. This ain't about somebody being worldly or a sinner. A man need a cheeseburger and he out there doing God knows what. Feed the man. The widow, she out here on her 10th baby daddy. She needs something to eat. Feed the woman. Help her find a place to stay. You guys are walking around here feeling like you're better than somebody, better than the rest of the world, and you need just as much help as they do. You a paycheck away from a food bank. Bottom line, Jehovah's Witnesses have no organized charity, no support for the local community, no help for non-JWs, period. So if you're not a witness and you want to come on here and defend them, these nice little people come knock on the door, they won't help you. There's no transparency about finances. There's nothing publicly accounting for donations. James 1:27. Religion that God the Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress. A watchtower may be religious, but is it pure? Is it faultless? Well, Jehovah will work it out in his due time. What, he gonna wait till 2025 or 2026 to start feeding people? Is new light gonna come out and say, hey, even though 50 years ago this man over here was starving and he didn't make it, but we got new light now. Now we can start feeding people. Come on, man. Ask these kind of questions. See, you could go tit for tat in the Bible with them, but it's really like pointless. You need to start hitting them with real life questions. Ask a Jehovah's Witness, why don't they give to charity? 9 times out of 10, the response is going to be charities are part of Satan's system or world. Only Jehovah's organization deserves support. We already do the most important work, which is the preaching work. No, it sounds good, but it's a dangerous distortion. Let's just say it's about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Has the governing body ever helped you when you were in need? Is there a place for you to go as a Jehovah's Witness to get assistance in rent, in food? Maybe the brother or the elder may come and drop some apples or bananas off, or they may do, but I'm talking about real issues. It's hard out here. People are struggling paycheck to paycheck. They're spending $30 million on lawsuits, but not spending $30 million to make sure the friends in the hall is good at least. The seed that they're sowing in the organization is indoctrination. In other words, love is action, not literature. Jesus didn't just preach to the poor. He ate with them. He healed them, and he walked with them. If Jehovah's Witnesses claim to be the only true Christians, where is that fruit? Matthew 7:16. By their fruit you will recognize them. You mean to tell me the fruit that we're supposed to recognize is a group of people who don't feed a homeless man? This is the true religion? You people who come here and say Jehovah's Witnesses are Christians, you can't decipher that fruit should be there? Now there's another side of this issue, which is control. If members gave to other charities, they may form emotional connections outside the organization. They may start to question things, so instead the Watchtower keeps all financial giving in-house. This is why this is a cult. This is how cult-like systems kind of work. Cut off outside influences, discourage independent action, funnel money into the organization, discourage questions, and punish doubt. Some Jehovah's Witnesses mean well, like for real. Like, I mean, come on now. Like, I got people in my family, I've met a lot of them, and some of them really do want to help the poor, right? But if they do, more than likely they're going to be rebuked. The culture is stick to the preaching work. Everything else is as worldly, but it is what it is. I'm sure if you're a Jehovah's Witness, you probably wouldn't have a problem being a volunteer feeding the homeless or being at a food bank. For one, it'll give you something to do instead of standing at a cart all day. And, you know, it'll be enjoyable. It's a good thing. It's a good feeling. You feel good when you do stuff like that. It's for a reason why you feel good. So it's pretty much the Jehovah's Witness kingdom is a kingdom with no compassion. If you strip away the literature, the meetings, and the door-to-door work, what do you have left with? Not a community of love, not a ministry of mercy, not the church Jesus described. Instead, you just have this cold corporation. It's a business, and it's a business to keep you confined. A publishing empire that just uses the name of God to collect money and fund court battles, all while ignoring the cries of the poor. This isn't just a financial issue. It's a spiritual warning sign. Matthew 23:23. You have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. The enemy just does everything backwards of God, right? I mean, he pretty much is not a creator, right? He just does everything backwards. That's why the cross is flipped upside down. That's why, you know, good is the opposite of evil. Okay, so you have people who feed the poor and you have people who don't. Y'all ain't trying to hear me. Y'all ain't trying to hear it. But anyway, so ask yourself this final question. What if Jesus was just here in modern times? What if Jesus was here today? You think Jesus would have on a suit and tie and be in an organizational format? Now, I'm not knocking a nice suit and tie and clothes and stuff, but I'm just saying, or will he be more relatable? Do you see Jesus in an office with a suit? Or do you see Jesus with some jeans handing out sandwiches? I mean, which character does he compare most to the Bible? The corporate world works like the kingdoms of the world. So if the witnesses are not trying to be worldly, they're more like that. I think Jesus would be in the streets. He'd be in the worst neighborhoods. He'd be feeding the homeless. He'd be healing the sick, and he'd be lifting the forgotten. Jehovah's Witnesses seem like they got it all together. Everything is all perked up, nice and clean. No, Jesus wants to go in the dark, dirtiest place and clean it up. That's who he is. He's the light. Worst situations, worst people feeling the worst. Think about the woman who committed adultery. Everybody was throwing stones at her. What did he do? He said, whoever has not sinned, cast a stone. Bottom line, the real Jesus just didn't talk about love. He lived it.